Hey fuckers, it's Friday.
Can't spell shattered without shat or turd.
Like a gut punch to the abdomen.
Some of the funniest shit on the web.
I call it a rock Fred.
I like the cut of your jib, gentlemen.
These 5 are the only protection we have.
The best part of the show is the genuine Hasbro love.
Good night, folks.
And of course, Pat's weekly farts.
Breaking news. It's very outside of the box.
Nailed it.
I love Friday.
Bob's Bait and Tackle, now carrying Hasbro.
They truly are your favorite podcast.
Thoughts, prayers, likes, and shares.
Shattered.
A to B.
Uncut. Is that you? Shatteredcastonline.
When are you going to bring Larry back?
My favorite Star Wars podcast.
Shatteredcastonline.
Complete fuckers. Podcast is intended for mature audiences only, and its sole purpose is to entertain. If it doesn't fit with your sensitive sensibilities, please feel free to turn it off now and
Shut the fuck up, Chip.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shatteredcast Uncut, your number one Transformers podcast made by fans, for fans, about OnlyFans, and we may just start our own OnlyFans, starring none other than this man to my left, the Professor T2RX6.
Yep. You should see my pictures. They're fantastic. They leave a little bit to the imagination, but I think it's tasteful, right? So.
Yeah, especially when you use the dog filter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. That's my favorite thing.
Yep, definitely. And, of course, a guy who takes photographs with no filter ever, especially when he lets his kids go ham on him and make them all purdy with makeup. He's your favorite attorney of mine, one and only Mr. Robert D.
Cup, just use finger, you put...
Yeah. Of course my kids put makeup on me. It's horrific. It's horrible. That's crazy. And then I forget the fucking makeup's on me. Yeah, like just about a week ago, Azalea gave Lisa just this giant, thick mascara unibrow. And Lisa forgot she had it. And she's just walking around the house all day with a big black unibrow. Oh, Azalea. Oh, you criker. Yes, hello, fellas.
Yay.
How is everybody this evening?
Good. Been good.
Oh, it's good to hear about Justin. And yeah, I think I saw your OnlyFans page. It's, it's a little conservative for my tastes.
I know. I understand.
No.
Yeah, my content is locked behind private messages, so you know how it is.
I mean, it's just weird to have an OnlyFans page, and when you live stream, the only thing you do is live stream yourself at work.
Yep.
Like answering phone calls.
Very
and on occasion, maybe we'll see Justin's wife pop in, and we're like, "Oh, here we go." She's like, "Here's your coffee," and then she leaves, and we're like, "Oh." But somehow he gets 51,000 views a day. It's weird.
It's pretty insane. Yeah.
God, man, we're gonna call that suburba porn.
Mm-hmm.
So. This is, of course, episode 347. We are 347 years old, and besides starting our own OnlyFans page that Justin performs on only Justin, we decided that everyone on this podcast is going to get a red, white, and blue mullet. Excuse me. Wow, that's corn dogs coming up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ooh.
Wait, were they like frozen, store bought, or
they're store bought.
You went to like a fair?
I didn't go to a fair.
Hey man, can I get 2 corn dogs and a deep fried butter?
Well, I just need these corn dogs for America.
I saw an Ocala yard sale. Somebody was selling a corn dog for 35 cents.
Man, so quick Ocala story. There's a flea market. It's called the Marion Flea Market.
Fleas and antics.
When I was a kid, I used to think that's what they sold. I'm like, why are my parents going to a flea market? But yeah, so I would take my mom to this place like every Sunday religiously because she would always hang out in like the little Chinese shops, the dollar and below type of stores. She'd buy her Sudoku books, right? And then she like it's like, oh, hey, we should buy this pot. And I'm all like, probably shouldn't buy that pot. Not from here. That is probably poorly constructed. But they had, like, this one little tunnel that was all for, like, foods and shit like that, right? And that's the first time, like, I never tried funnel cake till I was, like, probably 34.
Wow.
And it was probably the best thing ever. Until I saw what exactly goes in it, and then the only thing they top it with is just powdered sugar. You know, I've had freshly made donuts. I've had freshly made corn dogs. You know, but it's probably the most unhealthy thing in the fucking world, man. Jesus Christ.
For a very long point in my life, I've had trouble eating a corn dog because I was in 3rd grade, I think it was, and they did corn dogs for the school lunch, and I ate it, and I puked everywhere, all over my classroom.
Oh.
And from that day on, I was like, I can never eat a corn dog again. I think I've had one. I actually had one like a few years ago. I was like, okay, I expected to throw up again, and I'm okay. So.
You know what? I just pictured you. The moment you said like when you were younger and in school was a young like a 5-year-old child's body, but with your fully grown adult head on it.
Yes.
With the beard.
That is true.
Like this should be like the Shattered Cast default pic for our Facebook page. Like I'd be okay with that if it's like a little kid running and there's Justin's head, just smiling, you know, like, hey, it's me, Justin. But I'm like 5. This is what I look like. I had facial hair.
It's true.
But yeah, that's pretty neat. So did anybody get anything, Justin?
Nope.
Whoa.
Nothing this week. I got to ship some things, but you know, I will eventually.
Pile of shit. If I had a toy page, I would call it your pile of shit.
It should
Ship
be.
my shit.
You know what? I did get something. I'm sorry. I got 4 more things for the Build the Ecto one. They seem to be coming earlier than I expect. Either that or I've been really lazy getting them up, or a combination of both. I don't know. So I gotta do that sometime. So.
Word. So what? How far along are you on the Ecto 1 now?
Geez, 25 issues, something like that. So.
Jesus, man.
How many is it total?
A lot.
432.
Let's see. Eagles Ecto 1 total issues. They are saying 141 issues. So we are like a fifth of the way there.
Is it every month? Or
yes. Yeah, every month they send 4. So, but some of them, like I got 2 in a month. You know, the one time I'm like, it's, you know, they say it's a monthly thing, but yeah, no, I've gotten multiple in 1 month. So.
Ooh, what about in one night?
No, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, and what about one night? Well, he's got 2 examples that it's happened. that means he had 6. Robert, what did you get this week?
Well, I finally got my Dune Raker or Dune Runner, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, I love it. Why come people are fucking trashing on his stiff ass? People used to love how stiff Fans Toys was. The stiffer, the better, right? Am I right, ladies?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not you.
But no, I'm agreeing though, like what you said.
I wanted. You know what? It's not stiff enough. It's supposed to be so stiff. It goes.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear that shit. I want to hear like some scary chimp in the trees at night kind of screeching.
Yeah.
It's, you know, this is nothing compared to what Fans Toys used to be like. And people complaining, get the fuck out of here. Don't complain about no stiffness. That's what you want out of Fans Toys. You know what? If you're not, and it has an ab crunch, you know, and look, okay, the arms don't have a double joint. I don't care. It's fine for what Fans Toys is. It's almost like that's what, you know, Ocular Max.
Yeah,
it was always like Fans Toys was.
Why do people want that? Like the G1 Transformers, they're all very rigid characters. Like there was nothing about the cartoon that would imply that any of them were particularly, you know, like flexible, like ninja-like characters. You know, with the exception of like Nightbird.
And she wasn't a Transformer.
Yeah, you know, and it's like so why does every Transformer need to do the Iron Man pose? They're not Iron Man. You know, like.
Yep.
You know what happens if you take, you know, a masterpiece style Transformer and make it highly articulated? You end up with the cracks and lines and kibble that official MP is. And I'm not knocking you for that. I like that stuff too. But that's not Fans Toys' style.
Yeah. No, it's not. So if you don't like it, then that's fine. Don't buy that aesthetic. You know, like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, you know, like the MMC stuff. Like, I'm not into the reformatted liner stuff really.
Right.
You know, and like they're more articulated than like the probably like the Fans Hobby Overlord is less articulated than the Overlord that MMC did, right? But like,
Prime effects.
I'm not like, oh, this fans hobby one that is true to the character that I want him to look like can't bend the way I would expect him to do as the comic character. You know, like I don't know, it's weird. People are weird.
Still, he's highly articulated.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have double jointed elbows or like really super sick jointed knees, or his arms go up 90 degrees on the sides. Okay, that's fine. He's going to be standing there in an A stance, maybe with a sassy hand on a hip. Maybe. That's all he's going to be doing. I mean, so what? He's going to look good.
When I hear people bitch about that, it makes me think, like, I want to ask them, like, oh, do you make, like, stop-motion videos? And, you know,
right.
They'll be like, no. And I'll be like, okay, so what's the problem?
And then shut up, right? Like, shut the fuck up.
Like, it affects the aesthetic. No, it fucking doesn't. Like, for me, like, I'll be honest. Like, I'm still debating whether I want to pre-order that Prime, which was based on the IDW comic.
You stand corrected.
Yeah, I was put in my place by a non-listener. He's probably stopped listening after I said that, but he's right. It that is from the IDW comic. But
which
like
one?
I'm the Optimus Prime they just put up.
I mean, which comic? Which IDW? Because
it's like I believe an incarnation of that was in the More Than Meets the Eye flashbacks.
Yeah, the fact is, it's still obscure. It still doesn't match the rest of their aesthetics. It still doesn't have a place on the shelf with the other reformatted stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might look good next to their Megatron. That's just my opinion, though. But you know what I'm saying? Like that is like the thing is when you have a figure that has 27 points of articulation, you're looking at, especially when it transforms, you are going to look at a lot of loose limbs if you mess with it too much.
You know what they say, loose limbs sink shims.
Yeah.
But I also got the Golden Lagoon New Age Reflector. So I'm slowly building my Golden Lagoon shelf. I don't even know if Reflector was in that episode.
That's getting so stupid. That's up there with the fucking everything's a ghost. Like, oh, here's the clear version of Optimus Prime. Here's the clear version of Reflector. Remember that episode when the ghost of Reflector attacked? Yeah, it's the same one where Alpha Bravo saves Santa and Christmas.
This is my favorite episode.
What else did I get? I got in the Iron Factory Transmetals Optimus.
Right.
Factory Optimal. He's pretty cool for a little figure. I mean, he's quite the opposite when compared to their Leo Prime. Yeah, Leo Convoy.
Yeah.
He's
that figure.
There's just like the only complaint I would have is in terms of tolerances, like he has like his shoulders and like, you know, his shoulder blades, for lack of a better word, you know, peg into his backpack, and that secures the upper arms. Certain types of articulation can tend to unpeg them, and they're clear plastic. That's it. The rest is, I mean, it's just one little nitpick, really. It's pretty good, really well painted, nice sculpt, big ass articulated hands for a little figure. His articulated hands, sure, they're like, his four main fingers are stuck together, but they bend, and he's got a thumb, and it comes off good. And then it comes with sculpted hands too, like posing hands in case you didn't want to have something with a broken sculpt. But it's pretty good, and I think I got another hunk in. God damn it!
You ought to take Justin up on his observance of your pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I'll make it cost less. I promise.
And I think that's all. I don't know what to do about a plumber. I've been trying to get a plumber in here to just rewrap some insulation around some ductwork in my crawl space. And he sent somebody from his company to come do the inspection and give me an estimate. Everything was all fine and dandy and fine until he was supposed to come to the work. And the day before he was supposed to come to the work, he said, the day he's supposed to come, he doesn't show up. And then I get like a message from him that like he left a voicemail that he's on blood thinners and he cut his finger really bad and he was bleeding and he had to go to the hospital. I'm like, okay, hope you feel better. Reschedule for the following Saturday morning.
Goddamn Blue Apron.
Stayed here in the house. Actually, found other reasons. Got other shipments and stuff. Got other stuff going because I really need the plumber. And he texted me Friday night. Oh, family emergency came up. I'm not gonna be able to make it tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, can you do this day? No, okay, I can only do Tuesday at 9 a.m. Meanwhile, I have to be in Brooklyn on Monday. So I'm like, all right, guys, we're going home Sunday, and we're coming back Monday night. And we do that, and it was fine. I think everybody was sleeping in the car at like 10 o'clock, and I was driving. And this morning, he calls me at 7:45 in the morning, and he's like, "You're never gonna believe this," and I'm like, "I don't already." He's like, "I just got T-boned on the highway." I'm like, "Dude, are you just gonna keep coming up with ever increasingly absurd excuses? Are you gonna call
Aliens just landed, abducted my wife right in front of me. Can't make it today.
Are you gonna call me?
Hey man, I can't come put up that stuff. An alien came, and it was like, "We've come here for your leader." I'm like, "Not my America, MAGA." I bowed up, the alien bowed up, and then we started fighting, right? But it turned into a really hot, super hot chick. So I was like, "Man, look, this is for America." We started making out. We had sex. I fucked the alien, and now it's a predator hunting down a Delta Force squad in fucking Colombia. They made a movie on it. It's true, man. He travels through time and shit.
He's like, "You'll never believe this, but I am presently in a mothership. They are. What are you doing? Get that probe out!"
You'll never believe it, but I just got pregnant, and I am now delivering this here baby.
Even I look at Lisa, she's like, "What? He's not coming, is he?" She wanted to stay in Brooklyn all week, and I was so pissed. And
I would have fired him. Fire him.
And then like Scarlett's like, "Did the plumber come?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "What happened?" I tell her, and she's like, "Oh, he's just making up stories now, isn't he?"
You know it's bad. But how old is Scarlett? Like 9?
11. Even
11. She's calling him out on shit.
Even Azalea did. She's 5. She's like, "That guy's lying." So yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. Oh boy, but yeah, that's it. So what else is going on? Let's see.
Well,
what did you get, Oscar?
I didn't get any Transformers. I'm waiting for one to drop. I don't want to brag yet, but I'll be getting. Once he drops, I'm gonna be shipping him and another one from my Chosen Prime stash.
Oh wait, I see. You only ship figures when they fucking shelf dive. Is that what you're saying?
What?
You only ship your figures after they shelf dive?
Mm-hmm.
No.
It dropped, man. You want to buy it still?
So I am currently waiting on that to come through, and then I'll talk about it next week. But I did, however, bought a Marvel Legend for the first time in like over a year. That was the blue and yellow Deadpool figure. When he was on the X-Men. I almost said when he was on The Simpsons. Yeah, I got that, and I got another Marvel Legend for the character Maverick for my Weapon X set. So
nice.
That's all I got. Nothing really fancy in the world of Transformers. My big stash drop was, I already talked about that to death. But I will say, I did look at the Iron Factory Optimal Optimus Robert, but sadly, their pathetic execution of Lyle Prime has made me swear off Legends Transformers like forever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so fucking aggravating.
Man, you didn't swear
how they
off
cut
Chug.
corners on that.
You didn't swear off Chug. You still broke that eye gear Seeker.
Hey, I still got that Thundercracker too. but I'll tell you what, I'm now an expert on engineering and articulation because I watched a couple of YouTube videos.
Oh yeah.
Just like the rest of the fucking fandom, I'm now on their game.
Mm-hmm.
Don't start. I'm so sick of it. There's something going on Facebook now. These fucking idiots are posting. There's a meme. There are memes going around saying California passed a bill legalizing pedophilia. And it's not true at all. It's some idiot read an article of a bill, which is not a law, a bill, right? That readdresses mandatory. What do you call it?
Registration for sex offenders.
Registration for sex offenders, and
I saw the article. Yeah.
It's a whole other stuff. There's a whole reasoning behind it, and it's not about pedophiles at all. It's about LGBTQ, inequality and whatever. And without commenting on that, it's just, it's not about legalizing pedophilia. But these fucktards are posting memes saying it, and a few times I've been like, okay, don't get your news from a meme. Where are you getting your information from? And then they'll blast me with articles. I'm like, did you read the article? Because in the article it says this is not legalizing pedophilia. Here's a quote from your own article. And like, well, you're just mincing. What is it? You're just what's the word? Something straws or trying to
straw man argument.
No. Like, you're just mincing words.
You're grasping at straws.
Mincing words. I'm like, no, I'm not mincing words. I'm a fucking lawyer. You aren't. Stop pretending to be one. You wish it was an article. You wish it's an article legalizing pedophilia, because then it can, justify your outrage over something. But you're making it up. And it's such a serious thing in my mind. Like, you shouldn't fuck around like that. But oh my God, many people are promulgating this fucking the dumbest thing. I mean, I guess this shit happens all the time, but because it's something that I understand, that I can read, that's just driving me crazy seeing this, because it's so offensive and flagrant to be like, wow, you're gonna believe that? And when you show them it's not true, they don't want to believe you. That's what's amazing.
That's like trying to convince an anti-vaxxer.
And I try, and on the original person's post, I commented too to get it out there, where there's like tons of comments, people I don't even know, and somebody was like, no matter what, anyone who has sex with a minor should be registered. And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is this meme is bullshit. It's not legalized in California, I got my blood up today. But anyway, had to block a couple of morons. Like, you got to realize, I don't like blocking people. I don't like. So, let's get on the fringe of being a little political here. So, I have my views. I respect other people's views. I say if they want to sit there and they want to say this and that, they're entitled to their opinion. I'm not going to agree with it if I don't agree with it. It's just that simple. But like, for example, I've been learning a lot today about people that I've known here since I moved down here for over 10 years that suddenly are like, yeah, I understood why that guy opened fire in Kenosha. He was within his rights. And it's like, no, he fucking wasn't. And now I'm unfriending and blocking a lot of people that are just coming to this fucking, like, I don't know. People are getting scary. I mean, it's just like, I don't mind blocking. I don't like blocking people because I want to be exposed to people with differing views. But when you reveal yourself to be obviously a bigot and ignorant and and if you refuse to have an open-minded two-way conversation, you are now useless to me. You're a zombie. Yep. There's no point in having any kind of relationship with you, because you're closed-minded and ignorant, and there is no opening the blinds.
That's why I'm surprised people in our circle are still friends with certain individuals that have shown that side, even before it's gotten as bad as it has now. And it's like, no, unfriend, block. I don't deal with them.
Yeah.
Like, and with respect to the Rumble collectors, there are guys that have the Blue Lives Matter default pick on their Facebook. Cool. Guess what? As long as you fucking keep talking about toys, we'll get along fine. But don't come at me with your fucking political views.
Yeah.
It's just that fucking simple, man.
I'll tell you what. Look, there's nothing wrong with saying Blue Lives Matter.
There's nothing wrong with that.
As long as you saying that doesn't mean you're saying Black Lives don't matter.
Yeah.
It's yeah, sure. Who doesn't want law enforcement? Of course. Otherwise, why have laws?
Good law enforcement.
Who'd be like, oh, I hate law enforcement. I don't want laws. I want someone to fucking burn my house down. Who wants that? That's not the point. But if so I don't hate anybody who believes that stuff. But the other stuff that they tend to believe, that people who do that also tend to believe. Just like, look, I don't hate people who vote for Trump. I like to have conversations with everybody. We're all different. I got a lot of neighbors here in Jersey where they voted for Trump, and I've had tons of great conversations, really great conversations, not heated arguments, open-minded conversations, you know, and it's awesome. And I'll tell you what, I'll bet you none of them have avatars with the red hat. A lot of these fucking avatars is what I call them. If you got a red hat on your avatar, you're an avatar. You're not fucking normal.
Yep. I have a coworker in my current job. He is a big Trump supporter. You know, he's a smart guy. We have conversations where we agree to disagree, but it never escalates to name calling.
Right.
You know, and all that other shit. You know what I mean? Like, and he kind of looks like that guy in that one meme that says we can disagree and still be friends.
Yeah, you should.
He kind of looks like him, seriously. So,
look, the whole point of what makes the country great is the ability to have differing views and still come together and have some type of unity. You know, that's what makes us strong. So if we separate ourselves from each other, we are weaker for it as a whole. You know, it's true. But there are certain red lines. It's like, look, we can't have that we can't have that kind of discourse, and you know, so bye. You're already blind. You're already deaf. I'm not saying that you won't agree with me. It's just you obviously have your eyes and ears closed. I've shown you, right, what this means. I've, as an attorney, explained to you what this bill, not a law, is saying, and you literally are saying, nope, I don't care. Okay, well, you're a fucking idiot. You know, just goodbye. You know, just like I would, you know, if you don't show any respect for me, I have no respect for you. You know, you just want that to be true, even though it's not true. It's not an opinion. This isn't a matter of opinion. It's what is the truth.
It's opinion.
Is pedophilia
Only everyone opinion.
Is pedophilia legalized in California? No, it is not. No, it is not. So take that shit off your page. Stop saying that about a significant portion of this country. Stop it, because you're only dividing us more with lies, and it's terrible because that is such a fucking sensitive thing. I mean, pedophilia? Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna use that and make that up to generate ammo to hate people, and it's a lie? That's horrible to me. That's horrible. I mean, I'd get the fuck out of my face. You know, that's why. You know, I rarely block people. Anyway,
so just to give an example, how things can escalate in a non very like controversial way. John Bohannon is a science journalist. He wrote a story. He conducted a study, had it published in a few science journals to prove just how if you cook the books, you could get anything published. He basically said chocolate helps you lose weight. He spearheaded that hoax. I don't know if you guys remember that from a few years ago.
Yeah.
And even though he came forward and said, yeah, like I'm a fraud. I completely cooked the books on that. It's just to show just how stupid some of these medical journal websites and, you know, publications are, that they'll print anything as long as it looks sciencey enough, you know? And people are still like, no, he's wrong. I've really lost weight. All I eat is Dove. You know, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, man. Like, fuck. You right there, the source, the man who created the hoax sat there and said, no, it's not real, it's fake. You will not lose weight if you have a heavy chocolate diet. You know, and people are still like, no, he's wrong. I lost weight. So just to give an example. And another thing that's also controversial, hey, looks like we have Hasbro PulseCon 2020.
Yeah.
Come first.
What are you skipping the news for?
Oh, that's the first part of the news.
No, it's not.
Is it really? Nope. Oh. I didn't even see that.
You can say it, but we'll probably get messages from Matt about whatever we said about Gator, and then he'll just never tell us.
I think it's the fact that we compared Gator to Adolf Hitler.
Oh.
Did
we hurt Gator's feelings? Was Gator listening, and then Gator's like, I'm gonna go
is he breathing differently because of the things we said? He's probably like Matt walks out of the room, he's like, what? Hold on, wait. Matt walks out of the room, he's like, I will fucking end every single one of those, man. Matt comes back in. Also, line up and punch Gator in the face convention, also known as Hasbro PulseCon. So, in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, August 31st, 2020, Hasbro announced the first ever Hasbro PulseCon, a 2-day virtual event that gives fans unprecedented access to their favorite Hasbro brands, music, and entertainment. Taking place on the 25th through the 26th of September 2020, exclusively on a Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel, and hosted by Sci-Fi Wire on-air correspondent, writer, and producer Jackie Jennings. Hasbro PulseCon promises fans in the U.S. and Canada a front row seat to panels, talent appearances, brand reveals, product giveaways, and more announcements for new innovations and product reveals that will take place for brands including Dungeons & Dragons, G.I. Joe, Magic the Gathering, Power Rangers, Transformers, as well as other premier brands, Marvel, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, and more.
Oh, wow. Ghostbusters, huh?
Yeah, well,
They own
I
everything
guess,
now.
Yeah, that's fucking great, because, like, fuck Mattel, dude. Seriously, fuck you, Mattel. You're half-ass fucking figures. I don't know how the fuck you stayed in business these last few years, but...
It's weird because is it Mattel? I think Mattel is bigger than Hasbro, though. Do they own like Fisher Price or whatever? Like, I'm not sure what they own, but I'm pretty sure they are the bigger company. But it always surprised me that everything they do seems to be like a lesser figure. Like the DC superheroes line, like who would buy them compared to like a Marvel Legends? You know, like I don't know, weird. Are you saying something, Oscar? I think you broke up.
No, I muted because my dog's barking.
Oh, okay.
I need to go check on him real quick, but just to continue, so
probably
it's,
because Gator's outside.
Yeah, he's all like
he's like, here it is, Ocala. I'm gonna go get this motherfucker.
So PulseCon delivers the experience and connection. So let me read the rest of this article. PulseCon delivers the experience and connection of conventions for free and right from the comfort of fans' homes. Highlights from the virtual event will consist of live unboxings and over 50 new product reveals and pre-orders, coveted Hasbro PulseCon exclusive merchandise, live stream panels featuring celebrities and audience Q&A, and surprise experiences.
And buckets of shit.
To this new virtual experience that celebrates fan culture and incorporates so many different iconic entertainment properties is truly a thrilling opportunity, and I can't wait for fans to check it out, says Jackie Jennings, Hasbro PulseCon host. I don't know who the fuck she is. So basically, they're going to be talking about the Ghostbuster Plasma series, more G.I. Joe classified, Supreme Power Rangers, Transformers Generations trilogy, the Pit of Judgment 5-pack. I guess that's going to be going up for pre-order for $69.99. That's kind of not bad, really, for what you get with that set. And you got some Marvel Legends stuff, and of course more Star Wars stuff on top of that. So, yeah.
Speaking of Marvel Legends, do you think like people who went in on the HasLab Sentinel are kind of worried now at how much they paid for it? I'm sure there are people who bought this figure thinking it was an investment opportunity, right? And now that they sold almost 23,000 of them, it was 22,000 and change. Do you think they're like, oh boy, what have I done? Because it's not scarce.
No, honestly, I feel the same way about Unicron, right? Like,
oh yeah,
yeah. So Hasbro keeps putting out these items that have no business being quote unquote crowdfunded. Like, honestly, they don't. You know, like there's nothing about a Sentinel that should be funded. Like the barge, I think maybe, but I feel like even then, like the Star Wars fan is it's a big enough fandom, I should say, that like they could have put them up. Like, look, it's not a crowdfunding thing. This is how many we're gonna have. Order them or don't. You know, like just make it a limited release thing. Like the whole crowdfunding thing. Like Hasbro doesn't need to crowdfund this stuff. They don't need to crowdfund Unicron. No. They don't need to crowdfund any of this stuff. Like, you know, so I don't know.
They're just getting you to buy it early, and they're giving you this illusion that it's scarce.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's 100% what they're doing. So
I'm sorry to interrupt. Give me a few minutes. I got to take care of something. Okay.
Oh man, are you fighting Gator?
I sure am.
I just picture Oscar dressing up like in a karate gi right now because Gator's dressed up like a ninja. Yeah, it's really like, okay, crowdfunding, 8,000 unit goal. It's, once it's met, it should be closed. It shouldn't be a date goal. I mean, it should be
if there's some fixed amount. So okay, so this is what gets me about the crowdfunding scene, especially for things like Hasbro. Like, so when you look at things like Kickstarter and stuff, which are like legitimate crowdfunding things, it's like, okay, if we reach our goal, like let's say it's a video game, 150,000 is what we need to make this, and get it, producing physical copies, whatever, get it licensed by Nintendo, whatever you need to do, 150,000 to develop this and get it out there. And there are challenges, sometimes they don't come to be, and that's a whole different can of worms. But like, usually it's like, okay, we've met our 150,000 goal. Here's our stretch goals. So, if it is going to be a non-limited release thing, then like once you've met that minimum goal, there should be like, like Unicron at, I don't know, whatever it was, 650,000 or something like that, I think is what they needed. Is that right? It was something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's 70,000. I can't remember. But it should be like, like once we meet 70,000 or whatever, then like at 80,000, he'll include this voice box thing, that says lines from the movie. At 90,000, it'll come with this little set of articulated figures to jump out of his eye, things like that. Like that's how crowdfunding goes. Like Hasbro's like, hey, thanks for basically pre-ordering and giving us your money already. There's nothing new for getting more money for this because it's not crowdfunded. Like they didn't need your money. They flat out didn't need it to develop it. Like when they have this Sentinel and this Unicron, like when we saw Unicron, it was a fucking prototype. It's been designed. It's been put together. Yeah. The tooling is there, Yeah,
they did the work already.
Yeah. And now we'll just go ahead and we'll do slow things, and like you'll put out like little production updates, like their most recent ones, like look how big the box is, one of our employees fits in it, and like that's great. Like I don't fucking care. Like I don't even want this thing anymore.
What they did with Sentinel, though, they did have those like benchmarks. Like there was a benchmark where he came with the big, like some big brain head, and another one. Like they did have these benchmarks, but I just think the problem was they were really far out. Like they sold almost 23,000 of these things. It's like, I need to know if I'm going to spend that much money on a figure. Part of the reason I'm going to do it is because I know the value's there. It's not just, oh God, I'll spend $500 on a giant figure just because. Yeah. It's like, I also want to know that, okay, there's value in it. I'm a collector. It's not just, I'm not just buying a Barbie doll. It's something I know has value. And it was more than 500, I believe. I'm not sure. So it's like I need to know like ahead of time. This is our goal of units. Yeah. Like you said, if we sell this, okay, on or before this date, the deadline. If we sell X units, it's the basic thing. If we sell X units plus 1, it's this plus 1. With a bonus feature. If it's X plus 2, then you get the Super Mac Daddy motherfucking version. But this is the deadline, and these are the units. These are the goal units. Once they're met, if it's before the deadline, it's closed. If the deadline is met, if you reach the deadline and they don't reach the units, they don't make it. But once the units are sold, a fixed number of units, how am I supposed to know the value of my collectible if the number of units are not fixed?
No, it's not. And like, when Hasbro's like, this is the only time it's available, like bullshit. Like they'll find a reason to put it out because, like every single release they put out, they're like, how can we squeeze more money out of it? So,
yeah, it might build a figure. This might just be an assembled build a figure.
Guy, you never know. What is it? I mean, I gotta see. I haven't even looked at the Hasbro Pulse Sentinel. I just want to see what it looks like because I remember had a build a figure Sentinel before.
Right.
Okay, so he's Marvel Legends size. I mean, he looks fine, I guess, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's not, to me, it's
not like mind blowing.
No.
You could say the same thing about Unicron, but the point is they've never really done a proper Unicron. They did do Unicron before, I guess, for argument's sake. But it's just, look, it's bigger than the Build-A-Figure. It's twice as big. But I mean, what's this guy do that's worth so much money? You could say the same thing about the Unicron, and people would say, well, it transforms. And my counter is, yeah, but it's a shell former. You know, that's a problem. That's another criticism people have for the Unicron. It's a fucking shell former, and it's extremely expensive. So what am I paying you for?
Yeah, that's you know, that's my problem with it too. Is like at first I was like, oh, you know, they've never done a Unicron. You know, that's why I went in on it. You know, like they never did a Unicron. Oh, it's gonna be the biggest transformer they ever made. Blah 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 blah. And like it's really not all that much bigger than the bigger ones out there already. I mean, it's a fair amount bigger, but you know, like it's not like mind-blowingly huge, but it's big enough to be a pain in the ass in my shelf, you know. So and then all that money that goes into it, and the best you could do is just fold this shit from behind. Like, I don't know, man. Like
the like what would have been an impressive jump in scale would have been is what Fans Toys did with their release of Fort Max. That's impressive. That's a leap in sizing of a toy. Oh?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, and it's like when you look at it, I'm like, okay, so this figure costs $600. What is the cost of?
Put that fucking gun down. What are you doing, Gator? No, God, no. I'm sorry, you're not Hitler. Oh.
Got him.
I had to do that.
So I don't know. I'd be pissed.
Yeah. Well, like, so I'm trying to think. Like, okay, I want to see HasLab Unicron. I just wanted to see. Has there been pictures of it next to like Fortress Maximus? Okay. So the HasLab. There's a picture of HasLab Unicron next to Fortress Maximus, and like, yes. He's taller than Fortress Maximus, but it's like a head taller at most, you know, like.
Yeah.
So that Fortress Maximus, I'm trying to think, what is the retail of like that Scorponok that's out right now? $150. So $150 for that Fortress Maximus that is roughly a head smaller, and so. This goddamn Unicron cost almost 3.5 times or whatever the cost of Fortress Maximus / Scorponok / Omega Supreme, and like you still couldn't fill in gaps, and you still couldn't do anything besides make panels just sit on the back. Like,
let me tell you.
Look at the details.
Let me tell you something else. Guess how else Hasbro profits with their Unicron? They have no lingering stock either.
Yeah, because every single one is spoken for, or if it's not, it's been sold to a store and they can deal with it.
Right. That's huge. Inventory is the biggest problem when you're selling stuff. Just having inventory sitting in a warehouse somewhere, and they don't have that problem.
Nope.
That's huge. You don't think that was part of the push? That was one of the bullet points?
Yeah, they didn't want to make this thing and have to sit on it, so.
You know?
And like the fact that the fans are the ones that ended up, you know, crowdfunding it because, you know, they needed the money. Like, oh, come on, give me a goddamn break, Hasbro.
You know, the big impressive is the Fans Toys. The Fans Toys Fort Max. That shit's 4 feet tall. That is like mind blowing. We're like, oh my god, this is a unique new thing. And maybe in 2 years, 4 years from now, it'll be commonplace. But now it's new. Now that's hot. That's what gets people excited. But you know,
I'll be honest with you. I don't want a 4 foot tall Fort Max. I'm okay not owning that.
I'm gonna type it on my car. But even the Unicron, right? The goal was 8,000. They weren't meeting the goal. And they finally met it. The bullshit move was how they moved the goalpost at that point. We all knew, okay, there's only going to be 8,000 of these. I know if I spend the money, even if I don't like the figure, I will be able to get my money back, probably get a couple more bucks back if I hold on to it. You know, that's what you do as a collector, not a scalper. Is it a worthy investment in a piece? But when they move the goalpost now, it changes that initial understanding because wait, it's 10,000. Wait, it's 12. Wait, it's 12,000. Wait, and I think was it 12 to 14,000 ultimately that they funded. They had like 4,000 extra that were thrown on at the last minute. The last few moments, they just dumped on thousands onto the numbers right before the second. Was it the second deadline or the third? I can't remember now how many times they pushed back the deadline. It's one thing to push it back so that they make that number. That was one thing. But then to do it and then knowing they had thousands in their pocket and then they really changed everything, the dynamic. It's like, I don't trust them now. You're not going to tell me that you're only making 8,000, and then maybe you sold 8,500 by the deadline. But, you end up, right before the deadline, it looks like it's 8,000, it's 12,000. Well, that just diluted the money I'm spending. Yep. And forget it, with this Sentinel, people don't, Jesus Christ, 23,000 units sold. People better love that Sentinel because we're going to see a lot of them on dirty mattresses in a few years. You better go buy yourself a king-size bed.
Wow factor's going to fucking die down. They're going to be like, you know what? Yeah, this is just taking up space. It's just like every fucking Sentinel out there from the Build-A-Figure sets from years gone by. Yeah. They're just going to end up on a dirty mattress. I say I'm going to give it like 8 months before someone tries to sell it.
I actually think the Build-A-Figure Sentinels look more interesting too. To be honest with you, I don't know. I feel like they could use like a fresh, if someone wanted to do like a really vibrant paint on the Build-A-Figure one, I think it would look cooler to me than the HasLab one.
Yeah. You know who should make Sentinel? You know who should make it?
Sentinel.
Sentinel should make a Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
This is true, yeah. You're gonna be all fucked up and loose.
It's true.
I was looking up Sentinel Build-A-Figure, and I found a custom Captain America Juggernaut, and it's kind of amazing.
What?
Good job, eBay. Good thinking.
Let me post that here. That's a huge link. I hate when you make things ridiculously long. Let me just screenshot this thing.
While you're doing that, we're going to talk about third-party news. Doctor Who add-on kit.
What? Doctor Who add-on kit?
Doctor Who add-on kit. You wrote Woo, like who?
Doctor Who? Oh, not Doctor W. Woo. Sorry.
Yeah. Doctor Who add-on kit to make Gator not an asshole. Well, he did kill me, so I think you can't fix that. But yeah, to the first thing here says, my name is Gregors and I shat my pants today. Oh, by the way, New Age Stunticons. Okay, so I can kind of see why this wasn't on the news. It's a fucking teaser.
It is, but it does look very much like that's a picture of a toy. Or at least, not necessarily a toy, but the picture of the render, the CAD render, because I see joints and stuff on there. So
right,
I'm down.
It looks neat. I'll check it out. I mean, was it Magic Square that posted their pre-order stuff for their guys now?
Yeah, they're all up.
They're all up, and then apparently Motormaster's $150 fucking dollars.
That's kind of wild. That's a little wild.
That is a little fucking stupid. There is no justification why a Legends class figure should run in a 3-figure mark like that.
Well,
unless it's an entire set.
I have a feeling that for $150 you're getting the whole body basically.
Yeah, exactly. They're going with that route, with the parts forming route.
It does feel very steep though when you compare it to the Masterpiece scale versions. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Hold on. How much were the Iron Factory? Here, Iron Factory. How much were the Iron Factory?
They were 70%, I believe.
Yeah, they were. They came in sets of 2, right?
Yep. It was first one Swindle and Vortex. Then it was Brawl and Blastoff, and then Onslaught was the last one.
So how much was Onslaught?
I'm gonna say, I think it was like 70.
BBTS doesn't have it now.
Did we talk about the New Age Soundwave before, too?
That did get mentioned as a pre-order, yeah.
Did it? You sure? Because no, we didn't. No. That was on the news this week. They released. Should we find the link? There was the New Age Soundwave.
It looks damn good.
There's New Age Soundwave and New Age Sound Blaster. They first posted the pre-order on like Chosen Prime for Soundwave, and then like the next day the pre-order for Sound Blaster came. And with Soundwave, you get a Blue Frenzy, you get a Laserbeak, and I think Ravage. And then with Sound Blaster, you get a Red Rumble. I like how they did that. You know, it's you can call them what you want, but they're calling them that. With Sound Blaster, you get the Red Rumble, the Rat Bat, and who else? And you get another figure. It's 3 each. And maybe it's Buzzsaw. I don't know.
Sound Blaster gets Frenzy, Buzzsaw, and Rat Bat. That's the Sound Blaster one gets.
You know what I like, though, about the Sound Wave one, though, is when you look at Frumble, whatever you want to call him, he's kind of cartoon Rumble. Like, he's not really blue. He's kind of got that purpley look to him. And I'm like, I dig that. Like, you made Soundwave with arguably the 3 most important tapes, right? Because how often did you see Red Frumble? You know, never, really. You never saw Rat Bat. Maybe you saw him once. I can't remember. Buzzsaw, I don't remember. Maybe you saw Buzzsaw. But yeah, I think like I was like, that's a smart decision. That's a smart decision.
Well, who's going to buy Sound Blaster, though? That's the thing. Business-wise, was it a smart decision? I guess if you want to have Frenzy.
There's people who are going to want both Frenzy and Rumble, and they're going to want Rat Bat. Like, I think Buzzsaw is probably the odd man out in this case. Because, like, I don't know if many people are clamoring for Buzzsaw. But, I mean, I think Rat Bat's definitely something that you'd be interested in. So
the deco on the Soundwave is really nice.
I mean, I think it looks really nice.
I think it looks very mini, very, very mini masterpiece.
It's apparently the same
really
size.
dig it.
Yeah, it's apparently the same size as the Magic Square.
Well, yeah, that would be about right, because the Megatron is very much in the same size as the Magic Square. Like, I was watching Bobby's review on your tapes there, Robert, and
you still?
He was like, I don't even want to touch the New Age ones because they're going to be so small. Like, they're going to be the same size. Like, there's no reason to believe the New Age ones are going to be any smaller.
So why are they going? That was a while ago, but why are they going so like kind of in line with the Magic Square sizing with the Decepticons? But then the Autobots are so teeny. Is that just, do you think, is that a consistent approach? Like, because I can see that.
I think it is. I think when New Age, honestly, like, I mean, we supposedly they came from DX9 and had that Prime, but I think when they started the line, you know, I think that there was very much this idea of, you know, Scout, almost like Scout Deluxe, Voyager, and Leader class. You know, I honestly think that that's the case for a lot of these things. And when you consider it that way, you know, your Bumblebee, your Insecticons are in that Scout class, the really small figures. Your Cars are your Deluxes. Your Ironhides, those size figures, are Voyager. And then the like Megatron, Soundwave, if they do a Prime, like that's your Leader class, right? So
yeah. I just don't know, but it's definitely, they look good.
Yeah, and I actually think I gotta look at this blasted G1 scale chart. But I'm pretty sure that it kind of fits in line with a lot of what the scale chart that's all over the place kind of showed too. Is like, you know, your Ironhide is smaller than your Optimus and Soundwave, things like that. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder. You know, I think the Autobots are too small, but that's just subjective.
Yeah, it is, totally. Because when I see it, I'm like, I cannot stand the fact that for New Age, Sideswipe is the same size as Inferno. I'm like, it doesn't sit well with me. So.
Oh, you mean the Magic Square?
What did I say?
You said
New Age.
Oh, sorry. Whatever.
Stupid.
Yeah.
So dumb.
I know.
Oh, I want your body.
I'm interested to see what they do. I don't mind. See, I think Menasor is a unique combinder. I think he always was supposed to have a frame. So when any combinder of Menasor that
Combinder
that came before, it's combinder. They don't work. If you're gonna be too inaccurate, he's got to have split arms. He didn't always, but it's just he's better with a frame. He's the one that you can argue needs a frame. Just the bot in the cartoon. He just had cars on the backs of his legs. That's just how he is. Mm-hmm. So obviously it's a frame. I don't know. None of the other ones were made like that.
Yeah, but didn't the cartoon couldn't make up its mind if it was the car for his arms, either the car was the upper shoulder,
there was
bicep,
some
and then
scenes,
the
if I
forearm was
recall
something
correct,
else.
that they had the arms were two parts of the car, and other parts they were just kind of tacked onto the shoulders.
Yeah.
But in either way, though, it was still like a frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was either split on a frame, or they were just sticking up his little fancy shoulder bits. But so maybe it's a great combinder. If it's a great combinder, I won't mind her. And hopefully it'll be worth the money. But the only problem I have is Magic Square's plastic. It's not like Zeta's plastic wasn't cheap. It was just light. It never felt soft and weak.
Do you think that's the thinness of I can see someone making the argument that Zeta and Magic Square are made out of the same plastic, but when you get the denser, because it's a thicker piece, Zeta, versus the thin wall of a Legends Magic Square,
It feels like instead of whatever, I don't know plastics, and now you're becoming a plastics expert. You are with your
yes,
with machine. Now you can finally make the golden dildo.
Mm-hmm.
But
done that.
Isn't there an ABS plastic and vinyl plastic?
There's a whole bunch of different plastics.
This seems like a vinyl plastic with a Magic Square, as opposed to ABS, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what kind of plastic Magic Square uses, but yeah, that I don't know.
You should melt down your Transformers and then recast them in your 3D printer into you could put on Unicron horns and do it. You can speak like Orson Welles.
That sounds good.
I would.
Just gotta eat a bunch.
Well, that's because you order 4 of everything, Robert.
What? What'd you say?
Who, me or Oscar?
You.
Oh, I said you said I would melt my stuff down, and I said that's because you order 4 of everything. You can do that.
It's true.
You just have to keep one, and then you got something to do with the other 3.
And then Oscar will throw his hot rod through your eyeball. Be movie accurate, dickhead.
That's a euphemism.
Yeah, but speaking of
euphemisms.
Yep. Fuck it. Next title says, and all for only $29.99. It is the Dr. Wu upgrade kit for the Generation Selects Rotor Storm.
Yeah, polish that turd.
Oh yeah.
I don't think. Okay, I'll go on record and say this. I don't think it's a bad figure.
No, I don't think so either.
It's basically a gap filler. It worked as a Spinister. It does not work as a Rotor Storm. Because his original design, the cockpit was on his chest. This one, fucker's got 2 of them on his feet. So I knew it was going to happen the moment I saw a Spinister. But I mean, I didn't think it would be. I canceled my pre-order for this. It sucks because I need him for my records. But now it's man, pass.
I'm kind of surprised nobody's done one. So.
Yeah. No, they did a Whirl. Only one
me.
company did a Whirl. I mean, MMC did their Whirl, and then who was it? They released that upgrade kit for Tomahawk. Was his name? The Transformers name from the movie line. You did a video on it, Justin, the upgrade kit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only 2 times World's got any attention from the third-party world. But this, you know, this is basically your very basic gap fillers, you know, and 2 huge cannons which are mounted in his vehicle mode. Photo, you know, photo 03. You know, it I guess he's doing it. Okay. I'm underwhelmed. Sorry.
No reason not to be. So I mean, like this is one of those things. It's like that's great. Like, you know, you're just adding more things that, you know, your little thigh fillers and stuff like that. Like, does it look better? I don't know if it looks better even. Like, you know, because I hope that this is not the final color plastic you're doing. Like, you should be dead on trying to match what the figure has on it, because otherwise it just looks like empty holes that have been filled by things trying to make them look like empty holes. You know, like
like empty holes.
Yeah,
that's so stupid.
Yeah, like why you wouldn't make them blue, I don't know. So,
oh boy, I don't like the color of the thrusters. I see they were matching the cockpit, but I would have preferred a nice bright light baby blue and a flamingo pink. That's what I would have preferred. Preferably in a matte finish. And I want it to look like it tastes like a Now and Later.
Or a Mike and Ike. Caribbean style. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're making this. Yay. Yeah, I dropped the pre-order for this guy. I did not care much to maintain it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I thought I had a pre-order for Rotor Storm because I'm like, oh, Rotor Storm, nice. And then I was like, oh, this is just not what I want, and I don't think I do. I can't find it anywhere. This is gonna be one of those Robert things that's just gonna show up. I don't know. I have a Hot House coming though. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. That's awesome. I hope you get like 3 of these guys in the mail. You didn't realize you fucking pre-ordered it everywhere.
Oh boy.
I can't wait for the Hot House. Are you gonna review them?
We'll see. We'll see.
No.
You should.
Speaking of no, why not make her look 10? That is the Magic Square Toys G01 Peach Girl. It's the RC Super Deformed version.
Yay.
This is stupid.
She's a baby. That's what's cute. She looks like a baby.
Yeah, but you know, collectors are going to pose her in creepy ways, or they're just going to outright try to fuck it.
That's disgusting. That's totally disgusting. Hope not. I think she's cute. I wish it transformed, and I doubt it will.
It's weird. Like, what's the decision on this? Is it because this is something that, you know, Magic Square can put out that is cheap to make? Like, you've sculpted it, you don't have to do any engineering, basically. Like, I don't.
Well, look at that shoulder joint. Is that a transformation joint down there?
Oh, it's possible. I do see that.
This thing might transform.
The head pops off and you just kind of fold some things back.
The Super Deform is a very niche line of collectors.
You got some of those now.
Why did they call it Peach Girl?
I don't know, dude.
Like, it just makes me feel wrong. Like, this is up there. Like, the naming of this, like, I feel like it should have been on the RC with the lift up chassis. You know what I mean? Right. So, yeah, that one should have been named Peach Girl. This thing makes you feel weird.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
It's very cringe-inducing name. That's for
Listen,
sure.
all I'm saying is, if you're collecting this, maybe you should consider moving to California where it's legal.
Oh. I would get this for
Zing.
I would get this for Azalea, but I don't understand why Magic Square is doing this.
No.
Like, they were pumping out so many figures so quickly for a while, up until the Seekers, and then that seemed to be it, the fizzle point. You know, Megatron came out great, and now everybody's just waiting on the Stunticons, and I wonder if they're going to hit one after the other. I hope so, but they've completely changed how they presented themselves as a company. It was literally boom, 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 boom. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? This Magic Square is so good, and they're coming out with so much stuff. And then now it's just like crickets. And now they show this? Really? You can't show us any more prototypes or even renders of other Legends G1 stuff you're working on? Not a fucking thing? It's weird to me. That's what's really weird to me. I was like, what the fuck? I like did a double take.
Hey boss, what we gonna do now? We don't know what else to show off. Just go ahead and unlock Project Peach Girl.
Yeah.
That'll get the weeaboos going.
Oh boy.
Yeah, man, Magic Square for life, MAGA.
Oh, there's a picture of her crying. Is she crying, or what is she doing?
She's crying because she knows exactly what's going to happen to her once collectors.
That's horrible. That's horrible. I think she transforms. Look at her. Look at her.
I will.
It unfolds.
It's a CAD, but I mean, I just can't look at an RC figure ever again since that one guy in the cafe took these fucked up photos of, like, I don't know if it was Rogue, Fan Stories Rogue, or it was Azalea that was being tortured by Soundwave and his minions, and it was like, oh man, it was just like, I sat there and said, bro, you need help and you need to get laid.
This thing transforms. Why would it have pin joints in 1, 2, 3 places in the
helmet?
Yeah,
I think you might be right. I think it's just going to make like it's going to be an interesting looking vehicle. Like, it's not going to be very accurate or anything. It's just going to kind of look like it, you know, like the Chrono Q type things out there. So
boy. That's a thing. All right.
It's definitely a thing.
Next is Greg's favorite subject.
Balls.
Yay. So DNA is making an upgrade.
This was going to happen regardless.
Yeah, you knew this was
going to happen, dude. This was going to happen. They gave this Devastator a set of wings, some more detail for his head crest, and of course a scrotum. So,
yeah. Well, the scrotum is only if you are a early backer of this thing, like I guess a first edition buyer. So
dumb.
But I guarantee you that these first edition things will be sitting there until you can no longer get these anymore, and so they'll all be first edition ones.
You want to hear an interesting legal fact?
Not really, but go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Men could only originally, back in the day, only men could testify. Do you know why? Because to testify meant you were swearing on your own testicles. It's true. That was one of the first things that my contracts professor taught us in law school. I'm like, why the fuck are you teaching us this? Yeah, it's true. Anyway. So what's that that's the vortex munching thing in his chest? Can you even see it? In the add-on and then he's combined? You can't even see it in combined mode, can you? I thought this figure couldn't hunch over. He can? Hello?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've never messed with this figure. This is for the Studio Series, right? Like, yeah.
Oscar has this.
Does he?
Yeah. His silence is deafening.
Mm-hmm.
So what do they give him? Okay, so he has like a new helmet. So he has like devil horns. He's got like a samurai devil helmet.
Well, is that?
Oh, and the vortex thing is on his back?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because when he did open his mouth to start sucking in things, his back like opened up, so it like pulled things through and shot things out the other side. I totally forgot about that.
I love how his the decals on his shoulders now say Dick.
D&K? Yeah.
Dick.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It makes it look better. I guess if I was into this set, I'd probably consider it, but I don't know.
But you're not, so you won't.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's fair. It's a fair statement. So.
Poor Devastator. Whatever happened to the other Devastator that was out? Is they still making the rest of those figures?
I think so. I mean, I think we talked about one of them like a week or two ago. So Matt, I think, posted a review on one of them recently.
Hope you broke it.
Probably.
No, we broke it. Oh my god. I'm Oscar.
Sorry.
Did like I just picture you're like, you know, you looking at the screen, listening to us talk, and Gator slowly rises up behind you with like a wire cinched between and he put it over your head around your neck, and he's like,
he leans in close and he goes, just let this happen. Just let this happen.
I like that they said that the upgrade kits can be stored in the vehicle mode, and like half of it is just like you got like the big back piece just sits in Long Haul's, you know, bed, and then like the flatbed truck carries like the other big piece, and then like you kind of bolt the wings on whatever the loader's name is. And the rest of it looks fine, I guess, but yeah. It's not exactly like, yeah, look how well integrated it is, you know?
Yeah.
oh, crying children. Crying children. Sorry.
Yay, children.
So what happens if you decide to put them all in robot mode and you have all this junk?
Oh, then it's just all sitting there. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Who's going to keep it in robot mode?
Yeah. That's a true
Hardcore
story.
movie fans that think this is the best thing ever.
Yikes.
You know what's going to happen? Hardcore movie fans are going to get 2 of these. One that sits as Devastator, one that sits as, yeah, whatever. So.
Here we go again. What's the next one?
Do it up.
Next one's going to be Never Forget Calidus 2018.
Yep.
It's basically MMC's Exodus, also known as Getaway.
More than meets the eye.
Yep.
So what are they just switching now?
Yeah, you know what they're doing, though? They're announcing, this is their announcement that they're no longer making figures.
Yeah.
It's their Exodus.
Exactly. You're right, and it's like a sad repaint. You're right.
It's a heavy retool, repaint.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. This was the mold for the hot rod.
Mm-hmm.
Exodus. Finish off with a shebang. More than meets the eye. Make people think that you're going to do more than meets the eye now, right? Boy. Start a new shelf, guys. Lenny, go buy a new toy case.
He already did.
I wonder what he did with all his toys.
I think he sold that toy case. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm talking about.
He's just got sneakers now.
Oh, now he does paintball. That's his new
like
paintball.
airsofty type guns.
Is that what that is? I thought he was actually becoming a cop.
They're like gel something or other. I asked him about them. I'm like, what is that? Like, you know, I saw some of the posts on Instagram. Like, oh, that's a nice looking gun. And I'm like, that's nice looking. And then he showed like the pictures like of it firing. I'm like, I've never seen a real gun fire that way. I'm like, what is this?
It's a softy.
It's a paintball, mate. Right?
It's called a softy poo.
Yeah. And some gel something. I'm like, well, that's interesting.
And he's like just covered head to toe like a SWAT member with his like 2 fat friends lined up. They're trying to look all badass.
There's like a big explosion behind him of just paintballs just bouncing everywhere.
And now we got John Ryan into it too. And now he's posting pictures of fucking softy poot guns. It's like, oh god, I don't know how you get away with that on Facebook. Like, you can't transform Megatron on Facebook, but you can show these guns and be like, you know, weird. What's
yeah,
next?
you think they're done with their reformatted line? Like this is it?
I don't know.
This is reformatted. It's just I think they're done with your IDW stuff. You're not going to get the entire Lost Light crew.
Yeah.
Nope, you're not going to get your wreckers. Ain't going to happen. You're not getting them all. Now they're doing this shit. I don't know who made that decision. They probably lost Milne. They're like, holy fuck, no more Milne. What do we do? Do a Dreamwave next. Ask Rennie. Rennie, what's up, Mike? What should we do? We don't have Milne. Do Dreamwave, Mike. Cunt. Cunt.
Use your finger, cunt. Use your finger. On to official news, Gator's in rehab for cocaine abuse.
What was that?
On to official news. Gator's in rehab for cocaine abuse. And we got Spordon and Scinout meet the Wolfman.
Skin out? Supposed to be spin out?
No, I don't know who it's supposed to be. All I know is, okay. So as this speaks right now, we have anyone who missed out on the Voyager Red Wing exclusive, $29.99, because you didn't have a Target Red card. I believe he's up for pre-order on, I want to say, Entertainment Earth.
Look, he's not exclusive anymore. Shocker.
Yeah. So also you have Studio Series 48 Leader Ride Megatron. I don't get what that is.
Leader Ride.
Okay, I guess it's the Dark of the Moon Megatron with a different paint deco.
Why does he need a shotgun? I thought he didn't have a fusion cannon.
No, man, he had like a railgun in the first one, I believe.
Transformers: The Ride Megatron. Okay, I was trying to figure out what was going on here. So, this is the Universal Studios like Megatron that sits there and like mocks people and stuff, basically. I think so.
Yeah, he hangs out on the exit of the ride. And then also we have Transformers Generation Selects Spin Out and Cordon 2-pack for $40. So you get your repaints the sides of Sideswipe, Jesus. Sunstreaker, one of them is his original Diaclone color scheme, which was all red.
And the other is the other Diaclone police car.
Police car, yeah. If you own the Bad Cube Sentinel Blaze, that's been out forever, and of course there's a masterpiece coming out of that deco also. But also there's also a official masterpiece version of Carbon. Cordon.
I love him. He's beautiful.
Cordon. Yeah, it's nice. In this case, though, it's it is mainline, deluxe class figures.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, it really just seems like a simple fucking repaint. They don't get like an extra gun or anything like that. Besides, the cop version of him. Cordon, he only gets like the police lights on his chest. Yeah. So. It's all Entertainment Earth. Scroll down, you see different photos of them. Yeah, they're there.
Yay!
Yay, things.
Yeah, so it's the Megatron is from Transformers: The Ride 3D, the one that hung out and like troll people. So yeah, this is just a plain repainted Sideswipe, and that weird like fucking turbo pack is a double barrel gun of some kind.
Look, I wonder though, is this something that it's on Entertainment Earth? Is that what do you call it?
Entertainment Earth. That's who has them.
What is that?
Looks like it's another Toys type.
But is
they
it
carry like a lot of stuff?
Are they like they have exclusives or something, or
sometimes they do?
You're gonna see this 2-pack at Target?
Probably not.
Why?
I don't know. Right now it's Entertainment Earth exclusive.
Oh. I mean, I would wonder, like, is this something that you would see shelf warming? Let's say they had it at Target and Walmart and everything. Or is this something people are going to be hunting and hunting and hunting for, like they are with the Baroness, 2 Baronesses are at 7 a.m. at Target. Oh, just giving you a heads up. I went there, and even though the SCU said there was 2 there, there's none there. They said none were in the back. I beat up a fat guy at the return line for one.
Right in front of his family.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm so rough. I'm so fucking tough. It's hard. It's so hard. Yeah, so that's these.
That's these. Where's your gun now?
So up next after this, it's no. Yes, where is your God now?
Oh no. No.
This is Electronic Dancing Optimus Prime by Perfect Toys. Jesus Christ.
This toy is perfect. I think Matt's going to do little dance numbers at this guy every video. I'm going to tell him to, see if he does it.
I would gladly be a $100 Patreon supporter for Matt if he actually did the worm while this thing was dancing right behind it.
Matt doesn't do the worm. He does the seesaw.
No, the worm.
Supposedly, Sir Toys has a video of this thing in action. Oh, yeah, they do.
Really?
Look at Sir Toys getting it getting their knockoff ahead of time. Hold on, I'm gonna put in a thing.
Is it knockoff? They already have the knockoff?
Oh my god, this thing is stupid.
This thing is ugly as shit.
Someone
Just moves
piped
its
the
arms
sound
and
right through the podcast.
Let's see.
I don't know who decided that this is something they need in their life.
Wow, that is definitely one of those toys you give a kid and the parent takes the batteries out immediately.
Oh god, he just does a sidestep, shakes his head, he wiggles. Just a sidestep. Oh god, I love how the guy with the glove keeps moving him because he's about to hit the wall, and then he moves him too close to the other wall, and the fucking Optimus crashes into the other wall.
And it ends the dance number with "Death to America."
Why is the video this long? Why? It does not need. It's the same dance.
I ain't watching that shit.
It's so long, and they keep moving it around. It's 2.5 minutes long. Oh my god! Thank you for that, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
I have nightmares now.
No, thank you for that, Justin. No, thank you.
I don't get it. No, I'm not really sure why anyone really needs that.
How much is it?
Who knows? Too much.
I wonder how much this thing costs.
Well, moving on to statue news. Gator killed Matthew and had him stuffed. He hung Matt's bust on the wall, and the wall groaned, creaked, and ultimately crashed under the weight of all that trash. We actually do have questions from listeners tonight.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No.
Coming up first is going to be Matthew Bloom. Good evening, gentlemen, and Robert, if he's even there. Ooh, sassy. Earthrise has a crap ton of exclusives. I mainly collect MP, but I do buy some Chug for my son. I will try to stay away from most forums and boards, but how is the community dealing with all of this? I managed to get him to Seekers, but I don't think it should be so hard. What are your thoughts on all this selling out in 10 minutes madness? Oof, that's a good question.
Well,
all right, Mr. Bloom.
Who hunts? Who goes hunting here?
Nope.
Oscar hunts. Oscar hunts.
It's once in a blue moon now, dude. Most of the stuff I do is online.
You hunt. You put on the paint and everything.
Sharpen my blade. We'll get to this target at fucking 7:30 a.m.
You wait in a nerd blind. You cover yourself in nerd urine so they can't see you coming.
All right, so the deal with the exclusives, like people have already been talking about this on Facebook like crazy. The fact is, exclusives have always been a thing, whether it be KB Toy Store, Kmart, Toys R Us. This isn't that far off. So the thing is, back then we weren't as able to keep up with them at such a frequency as we are now. We have the internet, we have social media, shit becomes trending and fans talk about it. So that's why there's like, oh my God, they're making this. Oh my God, they're making that. And it's just what they do. All right. Especially with the advent of social media in today's modern day marketing. So, the thing is Matthew Bloom, I'm not saying you're complaining, but there are people that are bitching about the number of exclusives that are out there. And it's like, this has always been a thing.
Yeah, but
this isn't that far-fetched.
We actually talked about this. It was funny. It's funny that this came up because we actually had a discussion about this on Dummies. And, it's like the whole thing about exclusives used to be you went to a con, and because you went to that con, you had the opportunity to get something unique, And people would bitch and moan and call you a scalper, but they didn't go to the con. And that's why the point of it being an exclusive is
you're talking about you're talking about within the last like 10 years. I'm talking about before all that. Before cons were what they are now. Like SDCC back in like the in the 90s and going into the 2000s was where people in the comic book industry met up to shake hands and, fucking poach each other's talent. But like back in these days when we had KB toy stores, we had Toys R Us, we had, what was the name of the store, man? Woolworth. Like they were just there. There was no official announcement. Like, be on the lookout for this. It's like if you went to KB Toy Store, maybe you got that Nemesis G2 Prime. You know what I mean?
It wasn't exclusive to Woolworth.
Yes, it was. Those like for shit like KB Toy Store, when they had those exclusive figures, only their stores carried it. No one else did.
Yeah, but was it the demand wasn't so high? Like,
wasn't?
Or I think the demand is just to the roof now, and maybe they're not meeting demand. So what is okay?
Because of the internet.
If Target's gonna have an exclusive, say whatever, I don't know what they're doing with this. Let's say the 2-pack, the Seekers, was that Target exclusive?
Yep.
Okay. Why make it so scarce? You've cornered the market. Why the fuck is it scarce? Everyone's gonna flood your store looking for them. You're just losing money. You know, everyone is coming to you. That's why you paid to have the exclusivity, but there's nothing happening on the back end. Hasbro still sending you your normal allotment as if it wasn't an exclusive. Don't you think you can negotiate a higher allotment? Because that's the whole point being exclusive, that you don't just get 2 on your shelf today, that you have 10 and you're selling all 10 because you're not competing with Walmart for this figure.
Yep. Like today, I went by a Target and they had the Masterpiece movie Starscream there. But it didn't even have my Target didn't even have a shelf tag for a Scorponok. You know what I mean? Neither do like my Walmart's out by me. I did not even see a single Jetfire back when they were coming out. So like it's all about like distribution and all that stuff. Like that's one way to kind of look at it.
Hasbro's
like,
distribution is pretty awful. Like they're really bad at distribution.
No, but I see who's responsible for it. I
think
know.
it's still Hasbro. I honestly do.
But do you put an order in, or do they just tell you what you're getting?
That I don't know, but I do think that Hasbro is to blame on a lot of it, because I think first off, like the whole thing of like, it comes out on the West Coast and it'll be like weeks before any of them make their way to the East Coast, things like that, if that, like months sometimes, like that's a problem, like, and that has to be coming from, I'm sure it's not coming from the port and then Walmart's delivering it to all over their stores all over, like, no, that's coming from, Hasbro, who's then from their port entry or whatever is shipping it to the various distribution centers for all these mainline stores, right? Like, and then you got things where like, they put like the wave distribution. Like, I don't know if they send stores too much of one wave, and like I think that's also a Hasbro thing, is like, they put 2 Snake Eyes in G.I. Joe Classified. I'm like, I feel like Snake Eyes is going to be the one that you're going to find because he's outnumbering every other figure 2-1, so when people get that whole set, there's just an extra Snake Eyes sitting there, and then that, just like Bumblebee, actually ends up clogging up the shelves later on, and then nobody's ordering the later waves because they can't get rid of the 7 Snake Eyeses that are already there on the peg, things like that. Like,
you think they just don't understand because they've gotten they've 7 of the same figure that
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I think distribution, I think there's probably 2 sides to distribution. I'm sure, like, Walmart and placing orders and Target placing orders, like, that's probably an issue too. But I think historically you can boil it back down to how Hasbro themselves distributes their product, and like the way they make waves, and like when things don't sell, people don't order more than so much, and like that's probably why you get my Walmart has like one set of like 4 pegs is all Transformers, and it's like all like whatever it was, the War for Cybertron or whatever, like the Hound and things like that came out. Like, we don't have any Earthrise there. I think they might have just put in the first wave of Earthrise, but like come on, like Cliff Jumper and Hoist, like they've been out forever now, like if people wanted them, they've already got them from some other place, and now that's gonna sit, at my local Walmart, and you're hoping that it's the kid who picks it up, and they're just unfortunately, a lot of times not the demographic for these toys anymore. It's the nostalgic older person,
You know what? I think, I was coming at this the wrong way. I was thinking, like, why would they only have, if they got, bless you, is that a sneeze? Or a cough? I don't know.
It was a cough.
Oh, well, bless you anyway. Why would they have, no, stop. Why would like Target only have a certain amount of these figures if it's exclusive to them?
Target's never been even back when I was 18 and I worked the night shift and I did stock the floor. Like back when the PlayStation 2s were coming out, they never had they never meet their demand. They just get their fixed supply. That's it. That's all that she wrote.
Well, what I'm thinking.
That's all there is to it.
What I'm thinking though is I was coming at it the wrong way. Like, why would they not have more to sell, knowing that they have the exclusivity? And I'm thinking maybe it's because maybe these companies were going to give up on even selling Transformers on the pegs because they were just shelf warming, and Hasbro had to come with the tail between the legs and say, please keep selling it. Here, we won't let Walmart have them, so people have to come and buy whatever stock you have from us.
Yep, that's
maybe
possible.
That's why they're doing it. And it's because people don't want it. I mean, the only thing is I guess they just treat the issue with a hatchet and not a scalpel, instead of saying, let's analyze what characters people want, like Hasbro, and really tailor the marketing to that. They don't seem to do that.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I totally agree. But I mean, for my whole argument is seeing these new collectors get really pissy about these super exclusives. It's like, dude, it's always been a thing. The only reason why they're so hard to find now, even though the number of stores has shrunk to basically if you're in America, it's like the really let's face facts here, the big two, it's Walmart and Target, right? So you have only two places that you can look for these, and then with the advent of the internet and social media, everyone knows about it. Everyone knows to check it. Everyone knows about brick sheets. If they don't use it themselves, they have a friend that does, that sends a message like, hey, they got a case of this over here, So, fuck, man, it is what it is. Quit your fucking bitching. If it's so frustrating for you to get a fucking toy and you're in your fucking 30s or you're already well into your 40s, maybe you don't need to be in this fucking hobby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just there should be, I don't know, you're gonna have limited stock and it's an exclusive, and they should know that people are buying them out. They're flying off the shelf. They've got to limit the amount each customer can buy. They really should, or get more in stock. And I think it's probably a better business decision to just limit the amount people can buy, because they know they're going to sell anyway. Because what you're doing is you're putting a bad taste in the retailers, putting a bad taste in their customers' mouth, and Hasbro is putting a bad taste in their fans' mouths, because people are feeling it's not just like, oh, I missed the boat. They're seeing it as a retail figure that they should be able to get into their car and go buy. And if they just early bird jump the worm it, they should be able to go get it, and they still fail because people are grabbing them up, or they have friends who work in the back and all this shit. So I think it's souring the store's customers, but it's also souring the fan base, who ultimately, you think short term, what the fuck does Hasbro care? What the fuck does Target care, or Walmart? They're selling their stock. No one cares. No one cares about your feelings. The problem is, long term, I'm not as likely to bother to go on my hunt now, because I feel like it's no fucking point. There's no use. No, I don't get anything for my effort.
It's why I gave up on it. I like the Earthrise stuff, I've pre-ordered, whatever, the Prowl and things like that from Amazon, but I don't feel compelled at all to go to any of the stores near me to look, because it's probably it's going to be a waste of my time, and B, if they do have anything from the line I'm looking for, it's probably already something I have, and I'd just rather, even if it's $5-10 more expensive, I'd rather just order it online and not waste my time.
Everything, you could be doing other stuff.
Yeah, if I could go to the store and I'm if my Walmart had a 6 foot by whatever shelf area that was all Transformers, and I know they constantly stock it, then maybe I'd be excited. But I know 90% of the time, 99% of the time I go there and there's nothing there. So what's the point? If I want it, I'm just gonna order it online. So,
what was fun the last time I used to hunt? I used to get on my bike and like while going to court or going to meetings doing this, I would stop by stores. I'd stop by pharmacies, I'd stop by toy shops, Transformers Prime, because it was everywhere and you never knew you never knew what figures you'd find. It was awesome. It was so much fun. That was like the thrill of the hunt. And even if I found a Viacon, I was happy because they were hard to find, but you'd find them if you looked.
You know, that's another thing that comes into play is geographical location, right? So, for example, Robert, you're in New York. Me, I'm in Florida, dude. Right? You're a bike ride away from just a shit ton of stores back in the days of Prime. For me, it was a 20-25 minute car ride, just to, lose some gas, to go pop into a Walmart to see there's still 30 fucking bumblebees there, and oh, that's a cliff jumper, So, like, that's another thing that probably pisses off a lot of people. There's guys that live in the city, they have access to, like, 3 or 4 Targets or 5 or 6 Walmarts, and they check all that shit out, and they fucking buy it out. It is what it is. So
I think...
And as far as, like, and another thing, as far as these pre-orders selling out like it is, like, we talked about this before. Like, for example, the Gigawatt Transformer from Back to the Future, he sold out so fast because Walmart's app, you can pre-order, I think it was like you could pre-order 12 at a time. So guys were fucking pumping that shit out and just putting a credit card on file.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you'll make your money back. They don't care. So.
They don't put limits on those pre-orders because they don't give a shit. It's not like how certain stores are like, hey, Vans Toys Coot, pre-order up, only 2 per household, Like, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
But so I think, the answer to his question is, if you're doing it for your kid, you don't have to stress it. Whatever's on the shelf, if he doesn't have it and you think he might like it, pick it up.
Yep.
There's no commitment. It's for your kid. If it's for your quote unquote kid, meaning you, maybe you should just, look for deals online and stop stressing it.
and honestly, like, I know, like, back in the day, like, when I was younger, like, when Power Rangers became the big thing, like you couldn't find them anywhere, because they're huge, and, like, I don't think Transformers is that currently, but, like, it was huge. You couldn't find that stuff, and it's like now there's so many means, like, you may not, like, if it's someone requesting a certain figure, like, someone's like, I gotta have that Earthrise Wheeljack, and you can't find it anywhere, like, at least now you have the internet, and you may pay a little more, but, like, if that thing is really, really important, you still have the means to find it, like...
Is this stuff available on, like, Chosen Prime and stuff? BBTX?
A lot of it is. Typically, yeah.
Yeah, like
how much more expensive is it?
Like, that's the thing, right? So, like, let's talk about this real quick, right? Let's talk about the G.I. Joe ordeal. People were pissed because they can't find, like, the first official wave of G.I. Joes that hit Walmart and stuff. Meanwhile, everyone else that sat there waited an extra day or whatever the case may be, the pre-orders are up on this website. You're not hearing them, bitch, because they went ahead and just pre-ordered the wave on the fucking website.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Like, I'm sorry, there is nostalgia, and then there, like, I don't see the hunt being nostalgic for me.
It's about $21 a deluxe on BBTS if you buy all 4 of them at one time. 22. Well, it seems like like Wheeljack is 22. If you buy it individually, Cliff Jumper 22, yeah. And if you get them all, it's like 21. So you save like $1 each if you buy all 4. So.
But what is each one individually at the actual store?
20, I believe.
Like,
$19.99.
Yeah, they're like $19.99.
God, so you want to save all this stress to save $2?
Mm-hmm.
It's not because they want to save $2. It's because they want something then and there. They want to physically hold it in their hand and take it home and fuck with it immediately. Yeah, that's all there is to it. It's not the hunt. I'll fuck. Oh my god, any fucking buddy listening, I'll call you out on it. The hunt is never nostalgic. Shut the fuck up. You do it because you want it then and now. You're an impatient fucking man-child, and you deal with it.
Yeah, if it's a nostalgia thing, like I've seen, I see people who set up
in the closet until Christmas.
I see people who set up like rooms of their house in their basement to look like a movie rental place. You know, things like that. Like that's nostalgia. Like if that's how you feel, then by all means go out and start looking for box G1 Transformers or something and set up like shelving in your basement and make it look like a store. You know, where you walked in, like that's nostalgia. Going to the store and, you know, finding it off the peg it's an immediate gratification thing. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Like let me give you guys an example like of people fucking going overboard. I joined a G.I. Joe group and I lasted maybe 20 minutes looking through all the searches, right? Because my nephew Sebastian's kind of getting into the G.I. Joes, the classified series. So I'm like, yeah, I'll help you find some of them. I'm like, they're really hard to find. They're really expensive. I'm not swinging. I'm like, well, I'll see if I can, you know. So I joined a group to see if I can see any sales listings. And of course, in this group, this one guy actually has the big cardboard display that the store has for it in his home, and he has like fucking 30 Cobra Troopers, 40, 50 Cobra Troopers just stacked up. I'm exaggerating. It was probably like maybe 10, 15 stacked up on top of each other, and just all over. Like, yeah, I got my shit up. This shit looks. It's like, dude, that is. Are you fucking kidding me, man? It was like, not for sale, not for trade. No, I'm pretty sure they are, champ. You cleared out an entire store's inventory for the sake of it. So, like,
walking out of the store with that cardboard cut out under his shirt. Sir, okay.
My favorite is, and I forget in which group this came up. There was a photo of a guy who walked into, I think it was a Target, and ran out with a bunch of stuff and like fucking like looked like he was plowing the shit out of like some dude, knocking him on his ass, and he had a bag full of like Cobra Troopers on there.
Really?
Like, y'all so petty. Those fans are so pathetic that you're reducing yourself to steal fucking toys. You a grown ass man with a fucking job, and you're gonna steal toys. You're so cool. And these are also the same guys that sit there and say like, "Oh my God, this line's gonna suck ass." I'm pointing fingers at Chris Pinkerton, and then suddenly you're buying it like, "Well, this ain't that bad." Hey, you shut the fuck up. You change your attitude real quick. But I bet you there's still people saying this line's absolute shit because they can't find any. It's fucking sad, man. Like fuck this. Tell me the hunt's nostalgic. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Fucking lying ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, I don't know the nostalgia. Like I understand the nostalgia of, you know, as a kid walking down the toy aisle, but like the toy aisles now are not like walking into a toy store as a kid anymore. You know, like it's just not.
I don't know about any of you guys, right? I don't know about any of these other guys. But nostalgia for me is walking down the aisles just to look at the toys.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't afford any of them. I couldn't personally buy any of them. I'd beg my mom.
I might be begging my parents, and if I'm lucky, I got, you know, one thing. Maybe.
And you know, it'd usually be like my mom dragged my ass to the mall, and like when she had to go do something, I begged her if I can go run to KB and just look at the toys for a while she did something. I never got to shop. You know, so it's just the inverse is happening. Now you got the money in your pocket and the freedom to do it, but there's no toys in the aisle. Before the toys were lined up, you couldn't get any of them.
Or maybe you're just such a immensely irresponsible adult. You don't have the money, so you decide to fucking steal it and freaking ram down a fucking 65-year-old employee at a retail store because you really need to get those Cobra Troopers.
Okay.
I went there. That is such a fucking gross thing to see, dude. Like, god damn it, man.
Send me the link. I want to see that.
I'll look for it. It's not a video. It just shows like a photo of a guy fucking crashing through it. Walks in wearing a mask, and he's not a small dude either. He's a big motherfucker, and he's like sitting there just fucking spearing the hell out of that poor employee. I don't know. I'm gonna get these G.I. Joes. I'm gonna be the best G.I. Joe collector ever. Fuck out of here. Fucking loser.
I don't know what childhood you had. How is it nostalgic? Because you never did that as a kid. You would browse, you would window shop, and that was it.
Yep.
I remember many things, going to a mall or something with friends, and even when it came to like when we were older, and like video games, just like sitting in one store, like looking at the packaging or the box or whatever, and like that's all you could do.
My favorite thing to do was like at Toys R Us, they had those tags for the video games for the Nintendos. right? So
I remember those.
You'd rip them off and throw them out.
Like you would take one home because it's like, no, they can't sell this one.
This one's mine.
I can talk to mom. Like, you know, like I would always try to ask my mom, like, hey, can you buy me this? But I knew I was in trouble. She'd be like, yeah, let's go talk to your dad, because that meant, all right, you want this game? Yeah, you go work this whole weekend.
You know what? I would argue that if the toy hunt is for nostalgia, going out hunting nowadays does result in the same thing as it did when you were a kid. You're going to the store, looking for toys, and you're walking out empty-handed. Same nostalgia.
That's fair.
So enjoy it. You know, otherwise beg mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd Oscar go again?
Who knows?
Round 3 with Gator?
Probably. Gator's getting more sneaky with his attacks. You never know at what point in the show it's going to end up happening.
He's like from Pink Panther. Remember that? Was the Pink Panther? Was his butler would randomly attack him? You remember that?
I don't remember that.
Jacques Cousteau had his butler randomly attack him in his home.
I don't remember the original Pink Panthers, like the.
Yeah, Jacques Cousteau.
Okay. I haven't seen them for a long time, so.
It was the best. It was so crappy, but yeah, his butler would just attack him randomly.
I think I do recall that. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's what's happening with Gator.
That's probably what is happening. So. Are
there more questions?
I don't know. Oscar's the one who said we had questions. Nobody put them in the notes. So. You know, I just fly by what is put in front of us, and so be it, I guess.
So Matt wants to be on next week?
And that's what he's saying. So listeners, that's a treat, right? You know, hopefully Matt will be on. I think he said he can be on Monday, and then I think he said the following week he gets off early or something. But that's probably just a cock tease. He won't be here. Yeah. He's like, I got off early. That didn't mean I was getting on, man.
We should invoice him. We should fuck with him and PayPal invoice him. I mean, okay, is there a big deal if you PayPal invoice someone and they don't pay? Nothing happens, right? You just send it in.
I'm not sure.
If they don't pay the invoice, then it's just you can just cancel it eventually, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I would assume so. You know.
We should have the SCU account PayPal invoice him $200 like the day.
Pay to be on the show. Fuck you guys, man. They didn't want me on the show. They wanted me to pay to get back.
Gator's right. Gator's right about you.
Yeah. So, you know, that'll be fun. I'll be here Monday. Unfortunately, I can't make it that day. But if that's today, I think it seems like that's today, but I don't know.
We just record Tuesday and tell him we'll be here on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yo, man, is there a call? Just don't respond. Hopefully he doesn't listen, so he doesn't know we're going to PayPal invoice him.
No.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Yep. If Oscar doesn't get back, and I don't know what we have left on the show. Maybe he fell asleep. He's been saying he's been tired, so.
I know.
It's possible, right? Oscar, you awake? Oscar.
Greg? Greg.
I'm really sorry, guys. I had a phone call.
Was it Gator?
No, it was my wife.
Oh.
She okay? She good?
Yeah, she's fine. She was just calling me to say goodnight.
Oh.
So I didn't want to be rude to be like, well, I'm doing a podcast. I gotta go, babe. So.
No, I understand that. We were talking about Matt being on and things like that, so I don't know.
Yeah, like, you know, you guys ended the show. Perfect.
Well, we haven't, but
we haven't ended the show yet.
We are still going. So
we're talking about the viability of sending Matthew a PayPal invoice on Sunday from the Shatteredcast account for $200.
For $200
to do the show on Monday.
Wow.
That or we just record on Tuesday and not tell him and just have him be ready on Monday. And just keep saying 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, and say that for 12 hours straight.
Fuck, I can't even do that show on Monday, man.
Oh, then no one can. What the fuck? You can't even
do it. I had to start a new job.
Oh, it's too bad. Oh, no. All right. We have to talk when the show's over.
Yep.
Okay.
All right,
so
let's take us
I
out.
think there was one more question.
All right, let's do it.
Remind
me to talk. I want to talk about this though. Remind me.
All right. So let's see here. There we are. There's a few questions on here, man, that never. Oh, what a fucking dick. No, there's only 3. I'm sorry, but we'll do this.
Just do one. Do the oldest.
And it would be P. Shrek. From Paul S. Oh, are you ready, Justin? I don't know if you want me to come down or.
No, we're fine. We're still going. Okay. We're leaving this raw.
What are your predictions for the next?
Should have made him count down just for the fuck of it.
Okay, count down.
Okay, so what are your predictions for the next Hasbro Titan class figure?
Oh.
There's talk of Tidal Wave. From Armada.
I definitely could see Tidal Wave before I saw someone saying they wanted Grandis. I could see Tidal Wave way before I see Grandis.
What line? What line
Which one's Tidal Wave's Armada. Which is Grandis? Is that like RID?
Grandis was what was he?
Like
he was
robots?
Victory. He was Transformers Victory, actually.
Oh, right.
He was like the big aircraft carrier thing that connected to the back of Star Convoy. So technically, I guess you could make it happen because they made a Star Convoy, but I don't think that's happening.
That'd be like absurdly That'd be so dumb looking to have like this leader class figure and like this massive Titan like connected to him and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely. I don't want to say it's not possible, but I don't know. I feel like wasn't Predaking, he was one of those Titan things. Like I think people are just automatically like what Citybot's gonna come next? I'm like, well, they did Predaking and they did Devastator, so like, is there really any reason that they don't double back and make like a Computron or things like that before they end up making these like obscure characters? Like Tidal Wave, I could see Tidal Wave still. But
I would love to see a Titan class aerial bot set.
Wait,
but they did it for Combiner Wars, so like everything that was done for Combiner Wars is not going to happen.
I thought there was word on the street of an MP Raiden.
There was, yes, but that's MP, not Titan class.
Oh,
we're talking like mainline
specific to
like the Scorponok, the Fortress Maximus, the Omega.
Now, if they do like a Dark Zarak.
Yeah, that's it. That's what's coming next, man. Didn't they just release
Yeah,
well, I think that's coming, but I don't think.
Partner.
Yeah, I don't think that kind of counts because we kind of know that's coming, right? So.
Yeah, probably not in the same year. Remember, these are the people that like over the last 10 years have released certain characters from factions. You know, like they released characters from like the Wreckers and shit like that. So. Like I wouldn't put it past him to sit there and oh, damn it, I wouldn't put it past him to wait 2 years before they did a Dark Zarak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
What about Primus?
That would be something. I mean,
be the next HasLab.
You know what I think. You know what I think HasLab needs to do.
Maybe Bobby will break his.
What HasLab needs to do to get ahead of this whole legend scale thing is just go ahead and make a HasLab like legend scale arc. just like cash in on New Age and Magic Square like.
Well, like they did that for they did an arc for like Dark of the Moon. It came with
I remember that little Legends thing. It wasn't bad. It was a fun little
it was a cute little set. You know, it worked. It scaled well with other Legends class figures.
Mm-hmm. It was
fun. Why not do that? Why not make a bigger version of it though?
Yeah, and just make it an actual arc.
And then they could be dicks and use like Magic Square or New Age figures, but gray them all out like third party companies gray out Hasbro shit.
But who's gonna sue them? They really should just be knocking them off.
They should. They really should.
You can knock them off. But yeah, it could be as big as the barge. It really could be as big as the barge. People would buy it. People can make room for the barge. They make room for an arc. Period.
Yep.
Period. That would be sick. You could reenact so many scenes. What if they had interchangeable parts so that it could be the Ark from G1 or it could be the shuttle from the movie? You know?
Mm-hmm.
You can make that work. The shapes
Like
weren't
a
different.
interchangeable panel where like there's a hole blown in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That
That'd be
kind of
pretty
looked
dope.
like the Ark. It really did look like the Ark.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
When I first saw that movie when I was a kid.
That's a great idea. No, but that's not Titan class. It's
Yeah.
I want a Titan class arc, but I want it to be Transformers animated, so it turns into Omega Supreme. Just throwing that out there.
He turns into the Ark.
There was someone who did a custom animated Omega Supreme, and it was pretty amazing.
My whole time on this show, Justin, that's the thing you always bring up when we talk about animated.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Because you're so smitten by it.
I know. I want one. I
like,
have a friend. I know a friend who supposedly, I think, got one. I want one real bad.
You can make one.
Maybe. I don't know.
The size of that spool.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of plastic.
It's 60 pounds of plastic spool.
What Titans have they done, including Combiners? So they've done
Combiners.
Predaking.
Where is there a D in that? Combiners.
Hold on, Autobots. They did Metroplex, Fort Max,
Grandis Maximus,
and who else? Is that it? No, and Omega Supreme.
Yes.
Did I say that already?
Yep. No, you have not said Omega yet. So it's those four.
Metroplex, Fort Max, Grandis, and Omega. And then you have on the Decepticons, they did Devastator, Trypticon, Scorponok, and Predaking. That's 4 on 4. So you still have... you still have... I mean, they can do the Combiners. They really can just do all the Combiners. You have Skylinks, though. Arguably, he's just... That's really not the proper...
That's Commander class.
Yeah, he's...
proper scale. They could do a Titan class... They should do a Titan class. What do you call it? I just said his name. Oh my god, I'm mind farting. Skylinks. They should do a Titan class Skylinks. It
Why?
would sell because they've done every size of them so far. They might as well go next level and have him properly scaled Predaking. That would be a really cool Titan class.
That's you're being silly.
They could do, they could do any. They could do the Defensor. Combitron and the Terracons, they could do any of the Combiners at this point in that class. They really should. So
I would love for them to do a Titan, just on purpose, a Titan class version of that Spike Autobot Spike.
Just a tight version for this.
Just a tight version of him.
And I mean 5 points of articulation, man. 5 POA. Just a head, 2 arms, and the 2 legs. That's it. Nothing else fancy. Just a big ass Autobot Spike. You'd be like, yeah, this motherfucker 2 feet tall.
I keep my shampoo in him. No, but if they did
stash in his chest, bro.
See, they have an opportunity here because they're doing the Quintessons and all this stuff. They should do the Terracons. I mean, this would be a good segue to go into that season and do Abominus, and then you could have Computron. So that would be interesting.
That is true. But there's I don't know. They're probably going to go. I'm going to say Tidal Wave. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's probably a fair guess.
Something Beast Wars related. Like it may just be like freaking. I wouldn't be surprised if they go the cheap route and do like a Optimus Megatron from like Beast Machines or something lame, or a fucking Supreme Cheetor again.
You mean just the biggest? You're not even Titan anymore. You're just saying make a giant fucking toy.
Yeah.
In that case.
And they have to be like super hollow, so they look like they weigh 5 pounds, but they only weigh like 1.25 pounds, right? two cans. They weigh the same as 2 cans of soda, but it's like 3 feet tall.
It's like a 3 foot tall bumblebee.
Yeah.
He's so hollow. Like you're in your collection room and the window's open and you go to lift him and you forget that he's only like an ounce and then you accidentally throw him out the window and someone calls the cops because they think a kid fell out of a window. But he never falls. He floats away on the wind so people think that a kid can fly and it's in the news and everything.
God. Talk about nostalgia. I remember going hunting in the Yellow Plague. Jesus Christ, man.
Anybody ever
everywhere?
You ever set your Transformers like on 4th of July, like explode them with firecrackers and stuff?
Friend and I did that with Legos before. We would always build little towers out of matchsticks and glue and toothpicks and then set them ablaze. So
that's safe.
That's what we did.
Pack an M80, cover the M80 in clay, and then stick a bunch of Legos on the outside with toothpicks.
Oh, God.
Light it and throw it in a pack of old ladies. Watch the ambulances come.
Throw it in the school bus when it fills up with kids. Thug life, bro. Let's make out. Okay, bro. Oh.
Everybody was okay until they started walking, and then they stepped on all the Legos.
Or like break into a kindergarten class where there's a bunch of kids sleeping on the mats with their shoes off. Put like a bunch of Legos right where they would stand up. It's known as the kindergarten slaughter of 2020. 13 kindergarten kids stepped on the bunch of Legos, and they fell. On the scene now is Chief Streetwise. The young children were waking up from a nap, a little groggily, and they stepped on some Legos, and they cried profusely. We attempted to console them by singing them songs and reading stories, but they fought back. So
the perpetrators are attempted a getaway in a screeching vehicle with no wheels.
We are not aware why this vehicle in particular has tank treads on top of the vehicle, not on the bottom. But we have received additional reports of numerous people in the neighborhoods that this vehicle was driving by, causing them to lose their hearing. And in one case, one person went blind. Thank you. No further questions.
Here's live footage of the high-speed chase, and it's just from like a surveillance camera on the outside of a bodega, and it's just watching the fucking hothouse slowly screeching down the street.
And there's like some 80-year-old Puerto Rican dude with a walker, like whacking it with his cane, saying, "Lágase, lágase," because he's trying to walk past them. And he just picks up the pace, he just crosses right in front of it without a problem. Ah, pero ni mierda, vete pa' coño su madre.
When are you getting that hothouse in, Justin?
As soon as he hits a pile of loot, he will be shipped. So.
Oh, you have him already? You just didn't ship him?
No, I've pre-ordered him. He has not hit yet. As soon as he hits that pile of loot, he will be ordered or shipped.
Please
so
review.
I must have him.
Please review him.
We'll see.
Please.
I'm not into doing reviews anymore. I feel like those days have passed.
Put matches under him, and then put like the strikers on the ground, and and he rolls like a champ, and then puts him in the fucking.
Or you could like get some PNG files of other Autobots in their car modes, and then just chroma key them in, whizzing right past them. Like there's a fire, everyone. All right, let's go ahead and call it a night. So, as always, be sure to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/ShatteredCast Uncut. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter. We are there. We're not that active there. Never mind. I guess I'll see if I can fuck with that a little bit. Be sure to email us at, shatteredcastonline@gmail.com. Is that the email address, Justin?
Sounds right to me.
I'll show you mine. I'll take you, son of a bitch.
Remember when our email?
Yep, it's shatteredcastonline@gmail.com. Shatteredcastonline@gmail.com. Send us questions about the shows and we'll answer them like we did today. We'll make sure they get addressed as soon as we can. We got one more still here from Mr. Quint.
Quint S.
We'll deal with that next week. I'll be sure to put that in the notes for the guys. Also, a big shout out to our friends in the Cool Table Network that don't listen to us nor speak to us in general, but always mad love for Enter the Realm and my boy Eddie Dustmite's one of the greatest composers ever alive. He just finished Beers on a Boat at Volume 3. I'm looking forward to hearing that. So, of course, from me and everyone else here on Shattercast Uncut, be good to yourselves and each other. For the sake of Primus, please collect responsibly. Until then.